Hello, my name is Amana Opoma and this is my senior design presentation for uTalk iShop. Here is the problem. Have you ever considered how difficult it must be for disabled individuals to shop online? We can even scale down the problem to people who have casts on their hands and cannot easily use their keyboard and mouse to navigate a shopping website. Take for example this little girl who has a cast on her right hand. She is so sad because she saw this beautiful toy at Toys R Us and would like to show her mom this toy on Toys R Us's website. However, she is highly discouraged to do so because of the stress of using only her left hand to navigate Toys R Us's website. Well, I thought about this problem and I came up with a solution called Surprise Me. Surprise Me is an e-commerce site and also a social networking site where people can vocally interact with an avatar in order to shop for gift items on this particular website. All they have to do is to say their commands and the avatar would animate on the screen and click on buttons or type in words for them as they still wish. There are several benefits of this site. For one, upon creating an account, user will be given a profile page. They can add friends, they can delete friends if they want, they can see what friends have recently purchased on the website, and so on. So this girl, as you can imagine, is extremely happy now because she doesn't have to be sad about navigating a website with only one hand. Scaling our problem back up, a man who has a cast all over his body can use Surprise Me in a hospital and be happy like he is right now. So as you have seen in our previous example, there are other websites out there such as Toys R Us where people can purchase gift items or just items in general. So other than the websites having the functionality of vocally interacting with an avatar, what makes Surprise Me different? We're going to explore this with an example of Macy's. Now, we are going to compare Macy's hand in hand with Surprise Me, and I'm going to show you how Surprise Me is much easier to navigate through compared to a website such as Macy's. Let's say a user wants to create an account. First of all, with Macy's website, they would have to look through all the buttons before they can see this My Account button that I have circled, but you probably cannot see because it is so small. However, on Surprise Me website, all the user has to say is create an account and the avatar will take them to the create account page. So upon getting to the next page, the user will still on Macy's website have to click on the button which is create. But on Surprise Me, the user is already taken to the create account page. So they don't even have to type in their first name or last name or username or anything. All they have to do is to spell it and the avatar will type it in for them. Now at this point, finally, with Macy's websites, the user will be taken to the actual create account page. But as you can see, there is a long form where they have to use, for example, with the girl that has just one hand to use because the other hand has a cast, she has to type in her first name, her last name, her username, and so on with only her left hand. Of course, this would be tedious. But with Surprise Me, as you can see, it is empty because the user has already created their account easily. So all this looks good, doesn't it? You have your avatar, you can vocally interact with the avatar, and the avatar would carry out your commands by animating itself on your screen. However, although it does look good, there is a problem. The problem of password security. Let's consider a patient in a hospital who is about to log into Surprise Me website, and as they have spelled out his username, he's about to spell out his password, where his doctor walks in. At this point, we don't want the patient to have to ask his doctor to leave and come back in a couple of minutes so that he can vocally interact his passwords to the avatar. We also don't want the patient to have to wait until the doctor leaves before they log on to the Surprise Me website. So what are we going to do? Well, at this point, the patient will be looking at a page such as this. And the solution is quite simple. As you can see, there are two keypads. The position of the numbers and letters in black would always remain the same. However, the position of the numbers and letters in red would change every time the page is opened again or refreshed. So if the user's password is 52C, for example, all they have to do is to say the number or letter in red, and the avatar will type in the corresponding number or letter in black. So for example, with our 52C example being the password, all the user has to do is to say the number B, and the avatar will type in the letter B, and the avatar will type in the number 5. Then they say the letter C, and the avatar will type in the number 2. And then they say the number 10, and the avatar will type in the letter C. Now let's go through an example and show you how this actually works.
Do you want to log in or create an account?
Log in.
Okay, let me help you log in.
And the avatar walks over to the username text box.
Please spell your username.
O S U. Enter.
Okay, let's move on. Use the keypads below to communicate your password to me. Say help for more information.
D. So the person said D, but the avatar heard B, and typed in 9. Remove.
Here.
Upon saying remove,
D.
It's removed.
A.
The avatar typed in 2.
5.
The avatar typed in C.
B.
And the avatar typed in 9.
Enter. Please wait while I log you in.
And the avatar logs the person in, and they are taken to their home page. Now I'm going to take you all behind the scenes as to how this actually works. Let's explore this, shall we? First of all, we would have to create the Surprise Me website itself, which is an e-commerce site and a social networking site. Well, this is just a simple HTML site. But the problem came up where we had to do the voice recognition and voice synthesis. Voice recognition is understanding what the person said, while voice synthesis is actually communicating what the avatar is going to say back to the user by emitting this from this person's speakers. Both of these programs were written in XML, but then the problem came up again where we had to define a specific dictionary for each page of knowing what the person is actually going to say and what the avatar can actually say in response. So now that we had our two programs, the problem came up again of how we're going to communicate them together. This is where Voxio comes in. Voxio is an external source that we use to communicate our voice recognition and voice synthesis program together. So Voxio takes in what the person said, looks up our voice recognition dictionary, the list of words that the person can actually say on that particular page, and then looks up our instructions of combining the different words together and then making up a sentence. But then the problem came up again after knowing what the person said and knowing the appropriate response of actually animating the avatar. So how was this done? Well, since Voxio already has our sentence of what the person said laid out, we had to extract this sentence from Voxio, write this onto a text file on our server, and then the avatar had to continuously read that text file to know what the person is saying each time. So upon reading the text file and getting what the person said, the avatar would know the appropriate animation to play, whether it is to stand straight or to point at something, to walk or to hold a ladder, and so on. Whatever the animation is, the avatar had to replace it with the current animation playing on Surprise Me website. In the following example, I'm going to show you how this actually works, where a user says something and the avatar animates itself again to carry out their command.
Hello. Welcome to uTalk iShop. What department would you like to visit today? You can say help for more information.
Wedding.
Okay, let me take you to the wedding and anniversary department.
And the avatar goes off the screen and then comes back with a ladder. Of course, he's using this ladder so he can actually click on the wedding ring band, being that that's what the user asked.
What item would you like to add to your card? You can say next to go to the next page.
And as you can see, the person is taken to the wedding and anniversary section of the site, where they can purchase gift items by clicking on the add buttons or saying add item blue jewelry or something along the lines. So as you can see now, we solved our current problem of vocally interacting with an avatar so that the user doesn't have to use their keyboard or mouse to navigate the site. We've also solved the problem of password security. So our next question is, how can we actually use this site? Well, I already showed you an example of a patient using the site in a hospital. So we can be applied to a hospital technology. We can even broaden our perspective and imagine that it can be used for e-learning, which is possible. For children with disabilities, this application can be applied onto a website where an avatar can teach a student something. For example, mathematics. The child can say 1 plus 1 equals 2, and the avatar would say correct or incorrect. Of course, in this case, it would be correct. So at this point, I would like to say thank you for listening to my presentation. If you have any question, feel free to email me at osukpoma@gwmail.gwu.edu. Thank you.